Hello everyone. My name is Joelle. Welcome to this 30-minute yin yoga practice for flexibility. You may not need any equipment today, but for many of us this will be a great one to use some props. I have 2 blocks and a yoga strap with me, but feel free to substitute some books or a belt or a tie if that's what you have at home. And our first posture will be caterpillar pose. So sitting with the legs in front, maybe sitting up on a block to give yourself a little bit more space. And the knees can be bent as you fold forwards any amount. And you might also like to have a block or 2 under the forehead, or just let the upper body be heavy and dangle in space. And I encourage you to close the eyes here, begin to tune in to your breath. And in this yin yoga for flexibility practice today, we will be taking some deeper poses, deeper stretches like this one. Yin yoga is wonderful for flexibility. And as in any yoga practice, I do encourage you to look for whatever your edge is. So we do want to feel a stretch, but without ever pulling or forcing into whatever our mind might think a pose has to look like. And that's certainly true in a pose like this caterpillar, where it can be a little bit frustrating if perhaps we aren't going so far forwards at first. So instead, just give your body permission to release and soften over time. Holding the pose without worry, sinking and releasing. Wonderful. You can start to crawl the fingertips back, raising yourself back up. And our next posture will be shoelace pose. You might like to sit up once more on a block or just have some pillows nearby. Wriggling the right leg on top of the left so that the knees are stacked, one on top of the other. Or perhaps sliding a prop in between both knees. And in this hip opening posture, we'll open up through the upper body as well. So reaching the right arm up, bending at the elbow, and bringing the left arm behind you, perhaps holding onto fingertips. Or this can be a really nice place to use our strap to help bring the hands a little bit closer together. And in this shoelace pose with archer arms, you're welcome to close the eyes again if you haven't already. The more you are able to relax in these deeper poses, the calmer the nervous system will be. And the more the connective tissues will feel empowered to let you go, enabling you to release more deeply. And very slowly releasing the strap or the fingertips. Untangling the legs, maybe just sitting still for 1 or 2 breath cycles here, just to notice how you're feeling in body and mind before coming to the other side. So left leg on top this time, making any adjustments, making the pose your own. As the left arm reaches up and over, perhaps catching a strap or the fingertips of the right hand behind you. Finding the intensity and sensation that is most appropriate for you today, and perhaps noticing a difference between the first and second side. So no matter where you are, stay with your intention, stay with your breath, and stay with the pose. And let's start to release. Uncrossing the legs. Might feel good to plant the feet and just take a couple of windshield wipers here. Just gently rocking the knees from side to side. And for our next posture, we'll be coming towards a half butterfly pose. So extending the right leg out, keeping the left foot in towards the inner right thigh. And you might like to sit up tall, perhaps again on a block or cushion. You can keep a soft bend in that right leg. Or you might like to let the upper body start to release towards that extended leg. Perhaps bringing a block under the right elbow to prop up the head. This is a deep stretch into the inner hamstrings and adductors and groin. And a little bit of a side body stretch as well. So just noticing wherever it is that you feel a stretch or a sensation. You're always welcome to back off a little bit. Enjoying the posture and breathing here. And if you were folded over, beginning to lift your way back up, transitioning over to the second side, extending the left leg. And with or without props, perhaps beginning to bring the upper body towards the left as well. Giving yourself time and space to sink further after a few deep breaths, making the posture your own. And allowing the mind to contemplate anything that comes up for you in this posture, as with all of our postures today. And again, coming slowly out of the pose, lifting your way up. And you may like to turn to the side here to give yourself a little bit more space on your mat. We'll come towards turtle pose, or what is sometimes called full butterfly or tortoise pose. So bringing the soles of both feet together, bringing the feet a little bit further away from the body. And the feet might also come a little bit apart if that's more comfortable. Sitting up tall or folding forwards. And again, perhaps exploring if a block or two might feel nice under the seat, under the forehead or the chest. If you have the space, you might like to weave the forearms underneath the legs. And there's no right or wrong way that this pose should look. Appreciate wherever you are, noticing sensation, perhaps in the outer hip, or perhaps the low back, or anywhere else that it comes up for you. Just turn inwards, breathe, and let go. And beginning to lift our way back up once more. We'll be coming towards frog pose next, one of probably the most intense yin yoga postures there is. So if your knees are sensitive, you might like to double up the edges of the mat to give yourself a bit more cushion. Bringing the knees apart, keeping the feet flexed at the ankles. And you can keep the knees at a right angle, or if that's a little too much, you can bring the big toes in closer together for a little bit more of a child's pose hybrid. And of course, you're also welcome to place one or several blocks or cushions underneath the body for support. So one of the reasons yin yoga is so useful for flexibility is because we aren't using our muscles to hold ourselves in these postures, but rather the muscles are staying relaxed. And that provides an opportunity for the ligaments, the fascia, the tendons, and connective tissues to really open up. So yin yoga is the counterpoint to all of the yang activities that we do throughout our day, rushing and racing and being active. So I hope you'll feel a sense of celebration today for the time you're taking for this yin practice to slow down and breathe and feel whatever is present for you here and now. And inch by inch, really slowly working yourself out of this one. Coming towards hands and knees, and maybe just taking one or two circles with the hips, just shaking that off. Any movement that feels intuitive here. And our next posture will be a twisted dragon. So stepping the right foot forwards into a low lunge. Perhaps having blocks under the hands might be helpful here. And you're welcome to stay here, or you can catch hold of the back foot with the right hand for a twist. Wherever you are, letting gravity do the work, softening the body into the pose as you breathe. And if you are holding the foot, you might release it, bringing the right foot back to hands and knees, and we'll simply transition over to the other side once you're ready, bringing the left foot forwards. And again, option to catch the foot behind you with the hand or with a strap. Letting go of any expectations, relaxing the muscles, observing any differences between this side and the first side. Closing the eyes and settling into your edge, wherever you are. All you have to do is breathe. And let's gently release that foot if you are holding it. Finding our way back to hands and knees. Maybe a couple more hip circles here, just letting that one go. And next we'll be coming to a seated twist with a couple of options. So first option is to sit to the right of the legs with the knees bent, left leg on top of right. And you could bring the left hand to the right knee to allow the upper body to twist towards the right, propping the right hand up on fingertips. And one option to intensify, if you would like, would be to bring the right foot on top of the left thigh, still keeping hold of that right knee with the left hand. And another option would be to snake the right hand behind you to catch hold of the right toes. So finding your option, what works best for you here and now. Remember, no expectations, no forcing. Always just different options for different bodies. And wherever you are, letting the eyes close to soften and breathe. And let's gently release. Very nicely done. We'll shift ourselves over to the left of our legs now. Maybe staying right here, bringing the right hand to the left knee, twisting the body left. And of course, as on the first side, option to bring the left foot over the right thigh or bring the left arm behind the back to find the toes of that foot. And this is a really intense posture, so one side may look very different from another. There's no need to try to make them look exactly the same. We're looking to appreciate here whatever our body is able to do, how that is already so much more than we may have realized we were capable of, and certainly more than many others are privileged enough to enjoy. So wherever you are here, you are safe, you are enough. Enjoy the posture here as we breathe. And softly releasing the legs as well, maybe giving them a little bit of a shake. And we'll roll down onto our backs now, bringing the arms alongside the body for our final resting pose, Savasana, corpse pose. Turning the palms upwards, letting the feet flop open, bringing the body to stillness as you allow the eyes to close, releasing the body, releasing the breath, finding peace here as we rest. And if you're ready to make your way out of Shavasana, you can begin by wiggling fingers, toes, waking up the body, and eventually rolling towards one side to lift yourself up to a comfortable seat of your choice. The crown of the head reaching upwards towards the sky. Closing the eyes, resting the hands on the knees just for a few more breaths together. Imagine yourself breathing in openness, and light and vitality. And on the out-breath, letting go of any tightness, hurt, negativity, or judgment. Observe how you feel, offer up some gratitude to yourself and to your body for everything that it does for you every day. And you can stay here as long as you would like, enjoying this feeling of peace and quiet and calm. And I do hope that you will subscribe to my channel. I would love to know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Please do hit the like button as well. And check out the description box for shorter flexibility practices on my channel that you might enjoy as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well done, and namaste.